Frugal living tips from the Great Depression. Those who survived the Great Depression were survivors, and they frequently used specific frugal skills to do so. If those skills could get them through what was one of the toughest recorded financial times in modern history, then imagine how much money it can save you now. If you are curious to find out some of the great frugal tips, then you're in luck. Not only do we have the 10 best tips for you, but you'll be shocked at how easily you can save while still living a very comfortable and happy life. So stay tuned, because you definitely don't want to miss this. Before the Second World War began, our grandparents and great-grandparents went through a really tough financial time known as the Great Depression. This was a long period of time when many people were poor and had to rely on ingenious methods to save money. To survive and keep their households running, they needed to use really smart frugal living tips. Many of those tips are still practiced today and have been passed down from generation to generation. They are still in use because they work. Although frugality was required back then due to necessity, adopting some of these recommendations is a sure way for you to save money today. So let's get you started. Number 10. Plant a garden. By 1945, about 20 million American families had a victory garden. This was because money was tight and many people couldn't afford fresh produce from the market. With a garden, not only could they now tailor what they grew to the family's preferences, but they could now grow extra for friends, to store, and to give as gifts. For example, a single tomato plant can produce 8 to 10 pounds of tomatoes. This means each plant can yield around $20, as each tomato costs about $2 per pound at the store. If you started with a seedling, the entire plant would have only cost you a few cents and saved you several dollars. You were wise to have a garden if you had the space. And the best part is, gardening isn't that difficult to learn. One major thing that often leaves modern people discouraged is when they think they need a large plot of land to enjoy home gardening. This is simply not true. You could start with either a small container garden, potted plants, or a tiny area on the side of your home. Number 9. Experiment with natural remedies. This is one of our favorite Great Depression money-saving tips. Try some natural remedies before going to the doctor and paying an exorbitant copay followed by pricey medications. There are numerous tried-and-true old-school cures that Depression-era mothers swore by. For example, they drank plenty of water, got plenty of rest, and used herbs to try to see if they could remedy small illnesses. However, getting fresh herbs today may be too expensive, so rather than buying, you could cultivate the medicinal herbs as part of your home garden. Number 8. Learn the fundamentals of sewing. While certain money-saving strategies from the Great Depression may appear a little scary at first, this should not be one of them. We are not recommending that you purchase a sewing machine. Rather, just acquire a basic sewing kit from your local dollar store and keep it on hand for quick adjustments. This way, you won't throw away a perfectly good shirt because it has a missing button. Learn how to sew buttons, patch holes in jeans, hem pants, and add length to pants or shirts that are too short. Also, from simple sewing, you can help transform somewhat ill-fitting items from a thrift store haul into the correct size. And unlike the era of the Great Depression, you have the advantage of being able to learn these skills from sources such as YouTube tutorials. Number 7. Create your cleaning supplies. This is most likely one of the simplest money-saving tips from the Great Depression. While a bottle of eco-friendly store-bought cleaner can cost up to $7, did you know you can produce many bottles of cleaner using a $1 gallon jug of white vinegar? Yes, regular vinegar, hot water, and lemon juice combined will give you the same effects as that $7 bottle of the environmentally friendly all-natural household cleaner. You have probably also seen content of people on TikTok or Instagram cleaning their homes by sprinkling baking soda and vinegar spray over the bathroom tiles. Try it. It works. If you're enjoying these tips so far, be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Number 6. Purchase the whole chicken as well as the bones. This deserves a special mention on our list because everybody loves chicken. When purchasing your chicken next time, consider buying bone-in cuts. Not only are they less expensive, but any chef or Depression-era kitchen cook will also tell you that bone-in cuts taste better. So why pay up to $3 per pound for boneless and skinless chicken breasts when an entire chicken can be purchased for around $4? Simply clean your boned chicken, stuff and butter it up, and then bake. You can also make bone broth by boiling the bones. So, with less money, you get more. Winning! Number 5. Choose free entertainment. During the Great Depression, entertainment was an expensive luxury. People frequently had to discover ways to occupy themselves without spending any money. Every weekend does not have to be filled with costly outings. There are so many free entertainment alternatives such as playing games, going to the beach or lake, reading a book, hiking, bird watching, and attending local festivals. Your friends are almost certainly always looking for free things to do as well, so you can have money for fun if you invite them to any of these activities. Number 4. Learn how to forage. This money-saving tip piqued our interest the most. Did you know many of the plants we consider weeds are just as delicious and healthy as the mass-cultivated plants seen in food shops? For example, during the Great Depression, women and children often went around lush lawns and were permitted to pluck dandelions around the nearby houses. Why? So they could eat them. The dandelion greens at your grocery store are no different from the weed dandelions in your yard. If you're cautious, you can also consume other wild greens, berries, flowers, and even mushrooms, but you have to spend some of your time learning what you're looking for and properly identifying the plants. Then get out there and see what you can find. Number 3. Make your own gifts. Giving gifts shows your friends and family that you care about them. Despite how tough things were back then, people still managed to offer food, clothing, or toys as gifts to their friends, most of which was handcrafted. Today's society is heavily focused on the consumer, so much so that giving gifts has lost some of its luster. Items are mass-produced and sold 24 hours a day. However, if you want to save money, make your own handcrafted gifts. They would even be more special because you took the time to make them. Even if you don't consider yourself particularly crafty, you could try making your own simple bath and beauty products. They don't require much skill. You just have to follow a few instructions. Number 2. Keep all of your scraps. Most Depression-era kitchens had scrap jars. So before you throw anything away, see if there is another way to put it to good use. Pinterest is always full of creative ways to utilize unused scraps. You could learn how to convert citrus peels into DIY cleansers or how to refashion old clothes into fun items like pillows. When it comes to food waste, you can get even more inventive. For instance, scraps of vegetables and herbs can be converted into vegetable stock or used in dishes such as pot pies. You can make breadcrumb topping for casseroles or salad croutons from the heel of your loaf of bread. You could also use bacon grease to make pie crusts and use overripe fruit in making smoothies or frozen popsicles. If all else fails, you can compost your food scraps to make them into fertilizer for your new garden. Number 1. Prepare meals at home and from scratch. One of the most well-known money-saving tips is to cook at home, and it's been a hot tip since the era of our grandparents. Eating out used to be a treat for rare occasions, not something done on a weekly or daily basis. It's no secret that eating at home can save a lot of money with a little planning. However, work, stress, and children could make this difficult and simply easier to eat out. You can try various ways to make sure you eat in. For instance, you could ensure you have extra leftovers for the next night and work lunches by batch cooking and tripling recipes. You can also freeze any large amounts of food you make to save you money in the long run. If you have spare time on the weekends or the holidays, you can try fun food projects such as baking your own bread, making your non-dairy milks at home, or making your salad dressing with fresh herbs from your herb garden. Yes, unlike our grandparents, you have a choice, but what may surprise you is how much fun and simple cooking can be. There are so many fun frugal living tips to try from the time of the Great Depression. Just adapting 1 or 2 tips could really help you save some money. Would you rather make your own gifts or your own cleaning products? So let us know in the comments below which 3 tips you think are the easiest to start with.